Last week, we talked about why habits will be able to affect your player's performance on and off the field. Make sure to check that out. If you haven't, go ahead, check that out real quick. Make sure you like and subscribe. It really does help support the channel. It helps me continue to keep making videos like this that be able to help parents and players. So talking today about 5 good habits for your player to have, to be able to add to their routine. And these are just some ideas that will help your player if they're thinking, okay, what is it that they can do? Like, these are just kind of the beginning stages that they can get in the routine of doing. Number one, I would say, and it's always going to come back to this, is spend at least 10 minutes every day with the ball. Maybe your player is somebody who is, their coaches are always telling them they need to improve their technical ability. You have it in you. Every single day, you can spend 10 minutes with the ball. What you'll find out is usually if you just commit to investing at least 10 minutes, you're going to do more. You're going to get more out of it. And you're probably actually end up spending longer with the ball than that 10 minutes. So make sure that you spend 10 minutes with the ball every day. And if you're a parent, just encourage them. Go out there and a wall that they can pass up against, go ahead, do that. I had a player recently. She's doing pretty well. For the longest time, that was what coaches were constantly telling her. And that's something I was always encouraging her and reinforcing to her, spend time with the ball sometime. And she never really wanted to do it on her own. She had to have somebody with her, either a dad or a friend. But then she recently came to one of our training sessions and she was saying, Coach, guess how many juggles I did? And for the longest time, she couldn't do maybe past 10 or 15. And I was like, oh, well, 50? And she was like, no, I did like 120. And I said, where did this come from? And it was mainly because she says, I got bored and I just started juggling and I kept spending time with the ball. And I can tell that she had been improving. She seemed so much more confident on the ball, so much more, had so much more composure, so much more coordination with the ball. And it was so encouraging to see that if you spend time with the ball, just make that happen, you will improve. And I think there's a lot of players who hear that a lot, but they don't necessarily say, okay, this is something that I should do. I'm going to do this. So if you're a parent, if you're a player, commit to doing this 10 minutes. That's all you need, 10 minutes. Okay, so the next one, ask your coach after games where they can improve. So if they're younger players, yeah, go with the player. If they're maybe 7, 8, just get in the habit of asking, okay, what do you think they can improve on? And I'm not saying you do that right after the game, but just maybe at practice, you're just asking. If you're an older player, once you start hitting 10, 11, 12, you need as a player to be able to go up and talk to the coach and say, okay, coach, where do you see me improving? What do I need to work on? Or what did I do well in that game? What can I get better at? And just getting in the habit of asking for feedback will continue to keep you motivated. And continuing to do that will really help your player keep them on track, to keep them moving forward and not to get kind of bogged down. So asking them where they can improve and really be persistent, right? If they're giving you vague things, ask for more, right? If you get video from the games, that's even better. It's because then you can go and review it with your player and kind of say, okay, maybe this is what the coach is talking about, where your first touch needs to be, or hey, your positioning is off here, or hey, you're not checking your shoulder before you receive the ball. Like, these are things that we can work on, but be persistent. Ask your coach about where can I improve, where can I get better. The next habit you should add is visualization, and I've given a whole episode about that. Make sure to check that out. I'll include that down below. But you need to be able to visualize, because it really does help improve your performance. If you're a parent, you may have not understood the importance of this, or maybe you are, maybe you have seen the importance of it, but it's really important for your player to take the time to be able to just before a game, get in the routine of trying to see themselves playing the game, going through the problems that they're going to have to solve and seeing themselves being successful solving them. If they do that, just 5 minutes, doesn't have to be super long, doesn't have to be like some long drawn out process, but it's just getting in the routine of seeing the game before it happens. So then when they get into the game, they've already solved it in their head and they're not worried, they're not frantic, They're much more calm, much more composed, and they play with much more confidence. There's several studies that talk about this on how visualization really affects performance positively. Next, next thing I would say is spend 10 minutes journaling. And again, this could be super easy. And it doesn't have to be 10 minutes every day. It can be 10 minutes a week, maybe at the end of the week. And they can just talk about how their games went. They can talk about how their practices went, how their individual training went. Just get them in the habit of writing down, this is how I did this week. I did super well. I played extremely well. Or, hey, I didn't do as great as I wanted to do. I need to keep improving. I want to keep getting better. That's the biggest thing. That's what I need. That's what I want players to be able to do, to be able to kind of see, okay, this is where I'm at. This is where I want to go. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do this next week. Or hey, I had a great week, maybe my best week ever. Okay, this is what I want to continue to keep the more positive momentum moving forward. So those are just 5 habits that I would say that your player can add this month to improve their performance. They're not super hard, it's not super crazy, but there's something that your player can do to be able to kind of boost their confidence, boost their performance, and hopefully be able to keep them moving in the right direction. Let me know if you agree.